So, hello, and here is the second to last video number 5, microbiomes. For many who are not in the medical field, the first question is, what exactly are microbiomes? So, microbiomes are basically at every body entrance, every body exit, and your digestive tract, meaning the oral flora, nose, skin, vagina, intestine, every body entrance, and so on, right? Everywhere bacteria and fungi work with and against each other, and everyone has a problem. I always say whoever claims they don't have an intestinal problem just doesn't know it yet. By the way, it is an interesting fact that it has been proven that in the last 100 years, humans have destroyed almost half of their original intestinal flora due to their living conditions, diet, antibiotics, and the like. Irretrievable. This affects us all. 1,000. And that's where many problems come from. For example, allergy and skin problems are almost always also an intestinal problem. What are other microbiome problems? Caries, periodontitis, gum bleeding, sinusitis, skin diseases, cystitis, intestinal problems. As already mentioned, the intestine, with around 200 square meters of surface area, is the largest microbiome in our body. Approximately 80% of our immune system and also 90% of the happiness hormone serotonin are produced in the intestine, which is not widely known. This means that intestinal problems could, in the broadest sense, lead to depression. And that's exactly why it's important to look at which problem I have in which microbiome. Because, as I say, if it goes in badly at the top, it won't come out well at the bottom. If I am already predisposed to caries and therefore have a high bacterial load in my oral flora, it will naturally travel along my entire digestive tract, and I will be completely covered with bacteria internally. And the problem is, especially today, you don't have to tell women, they know this. We get antibiotics for every little thing, and most women know it when they get a cystitis. And that shows how important the topic is. And as mentioned, allergy and skin, for example, are almost always an intestinal problem. The difficulty, of course, lies in finding out which problem I have in which microbiome in my body. Where might I have a dysbiosis? Where do I have a germ load? Where do I have a bacterium in insufficient quantity? And that's exactly what it's about now. I have brought something with me. It is from a laboratory in Herborn. I have also linked this pamphlet, this flyer, below for you. That's just one company. I don't know anyone personally. I got this from the general practitioner we work with. He happens to work with him as well. I already had that before. Now I have received the current updated version. I have linked it below for you. As I said, there are of course other options. You can ask your general practitioner if they might work with another one. To my knowledge, one of the largest in Germany is the so-called Institute for Microecology, the IFM Herborn. And they have developed tests for each individual microbiome. I take an example. Someone who has headaches, for instance, they could also be caused by a food intolerance. So it may be that whenever you eat some spice, you get headaches, something that is in everything. And just as an example, they have a single test for 270 foods with one test. And so they have developed tests for each microbiome themselves, for the intestine, liver, food, intolerances, metabolism, stool, celiac disease, helicobacter, enterogenic pathogens, breath gas, and so on and so forth. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4 pages full of various thousand tests and diagnostics. Feel free to check it out. I have also linked the link right below. Additionally, there is a direct link to the therapist search where you can enter your place of residence, see directly who the nearest doctor or alternative practitioner is that works with this. They will then take blood, stool, or whatever, saliva. I think I mentioned in the other video number 2, the adrenaline-cortisol imbalance, which also causes many problems. They tested it once and at least it's USEN. Do you know what your problem might be? There was even a treatment method until some time ago called auto-vaccine therapies. At that time, the company Symbiovac produced it. That was even a healing method in some cases. So I knew of a case where there was a little boy who had a problem in the intestine. They found out back then through this diagnostic what was wrong with him. And then a stool and a blood sample were sent to this company, and they developed an asthma spray from it. The problem is, I know we don't exactly know why. There was a change in the law last year. In October 2022, there was a change according to which microsymbiovaccine, that is auto-vaccinations with genetic material or with human genetic material, is no longer permitted. It was therefore banned. It seems that although this is constantly changing somehow, I have no idea. Your own urine is still allowed, but your own stool, and so on, blood, that is apparently no longer allowed. So it seems you are allowed. I didn't quite understand it, so I had it explained to me. I believe you are no longer allowed to implement a human genome into your body. Strangely, not even if it is your own. In any case, that is one. I don't know if it is no longer approved in Germany or Europe. These are so-called auto-vaccine therapies. Depending on where you live, you might want to check what is still approved in Switzerland or Austria, and whether it is a European law, I don't know at the moment. It was a long topic. Anyway, the company Symbiovaccin states on their homepage that they are no longer allowed to do it. It was a very long time, I think 2 years, where the shoes had to be worn, and then suddenly it was announced that it was possible again, and suddenly the site was down, saying we are not allowed to work anymore. So this is purely diagnostic. If you naturally know what is wrong with you, you can start addressing it. You can work with intestinal rebuilding treatments or whatever else is needed. Yes, by the way, there's a little tip you might want to check out. I find it quite interesting. It's in YouTube videos. Why do we have many problems? Among other things, antibiotics, and indeed many are not aware of this. There has been an alternative to antibiotics for over 70 years, unfortunately not approved in the European Union and the Western world. It is about phage therapy, specifically with phagophages. Interestingly, the world's leading nation in this field is Georgia. The post-Soviet republics had already treated their soldiers with phages as an alternative to antibiotics. So you can generally take a swab, check which bacterium is present, and then there is a question for each bacterium whether it is a virus, and then you can treat multi-resistant hospital germs and the like without antibiotics. Leading worldwide, as mentioned, the nation is Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia. You can check it out. There are some very interesting videos on YouTube. Phage therapy in Georgia, the number on the side. So, as I mentioned, I have linked this Institute for Microecology for you, both the leaflet and the link below. Take a look, and that's it for this video. The next video is then video number 6, the care video. In this video, I explain everything about how you need to care for your piercing, what to do about sport, swimming, MRI, CT, X-rays, the topic of healing, initial worsening, how the healing process works. Everything is explained in video 6 in my care video. And with that, you have completed all the videos so far. I hope I could help you a little with this, and I hope you could take something away from it. I look forward to seeing and welcoming you in the studio. See you soon. It was a pleasure, and goodbye.